Hello, Ian here from Dark Blaze Workshop. Welcome back to another video. This one we're painting Nagini. Okay, Nagini. What I've done, I've used Citadel Serious Purple. And I thought I might as well do it through the airbrush because it's just a base coat, and the majority of the mini is the dress anyway. So we're going to go straight on with the skin now, and I'm using scale 75 colour, pale skin. And the coverage isn't great, but it's a lovely colour. So just make sure you got it nice and thin. And we'll apply it over a few colours because we should have gone back over the face with an ivory or something like that to start with, but we'll do a couple of coats of this just to build it up. Make sure we get a nice coverage. And we'll go from there. So as you can see, the first coat is pretty rubbish, so we're going with another one. This time I'm avoiding the eye sockets and the hollows of the cheek. Okay, another layer. I'm going to go in with another layer of the light skin again, and hopefully you can start to see that because I've been adding it to the forehead and then the top of the cheek under the eye. Top of the lip, and now I'm keeping that shadow at the bottom of the cheek, and same again, I'm pulling the paint round towards the chin so it collects on the chin, so it makes it more intense and lighter. And with the nose I'm going straight down the middle and then just trying to touch the nostrils either side. So we've got a little bit of shadow going there already in that cheek area. And what I'm going to do now is I'll probably have to add another layer to the chest area because it's still looking a little bit patchy, but it's looking good around the nose, cheeks and forehead now. So I'm going to leave that for now. I'll do another coat down here and then we'll come back. So next up, I'm using Arbuckle's Brown. It's part of the scale 75 steampunk set, and it's a bit of a strange colour really. It's a bit of purple in there, and I'm adding quite a bit of water to it to get a glaze. And you can probably see how thin it is there. But I'll just get rid of the excess on a paper towel and I'll test it. See how it comes out. That's a bit too intense still. So I'm going to add some more water. I'll take it from the side of the palette. And again, so we've got super thin glaze now. And I'm going to apply this to the eye sockets. Let's just move the palette away. The eye sockets and the cheek area. So let's make sure she's in focus. There we go. And I'll test it on the neck area first. Now that's a bit too much on my brush there, so I'm testing on the neck because I can correct it quite easily. Okay, so I'm going into the eye sockets. Side of the nose. Coming up the cheek. And I'm getting that line between the nose and the cheek. Let's try and line the lips and the cheekbones as well. So I'm going to have to do another pass of this just to make sure that I've got the right right amount of contrast, but it's looking not bad. So I've got a second pass there. I'm going to do one more because it's not sitting properly in this eye socket. So once I get it to the same intensity as the other side, you know, that's it done. So just to the side of the nose again, that line, and the lips. I think it's looking pretty good. Yeah, it needs to just intensify at the bottom of the eye there. So I'll add until I've got it right, and then we'll come back. Okay, so now I'm going to go back in with the light skin to correct, or like layer on where we had the lighter skin to start with. So it's the with that magic T, the forehead and the nose, and get the cheekbones in, especially on this side here. And then the top of the lip. It's not too bad that side. It's just this side, I think. So we'll do a couple of passes just to get that cheekbone back to the same intensity as the other side, and we'll come back. So next up we've got some Reikland Flesh Shade, and I've added a bit of water to it, and I'm just going to put a little bit on the forehead. Just leave that there. And we'll move on to the highlight now, where we've added pale skin to the light skin to get a 50-50 mix. And we'll just start picking out not the whole cheekbone, just try and work in a smaller area. Come towards the front of the chin. Corner of the top lip. Get the nostril if you can. let's try and get the cheek on the other side now. I'll do a few passes of that. I think that right glint is nearly dry and we'll start highlighting the forehead soon. So I'm going back to the light skin, still on my palette, and I'm going to highlight the top of the brow and then up at the hairline. And I do 2 or 3 passes, just let it dry in between each one. Just give it a blow. This is like a glaze consistency now, so it's about 2 drops of water to 1 drop of paint. Just make sure it's dry. Push the paint up towards the hairline and down towards the brow. So you've got a bit of shadow in the middle of the forehead, the middle section there. And a highlight on the brow and a highlight right at the top of the hairline. And then we'll go on to the highlight colour, the 50-50 mix. Let's check how thin it is. Good. Just push it up. Okay, so our next highlight is pale skin on its own. And do that hairline again. Just the top of the brow. Nose. And we'll just do it under the corner of the eye there. Chin. And we'll just go with the second pass now. Okay. I've added a tiny bit of off-white to the pale skin, just to lighten it a little bit, and that's going to go on the tip of the nose, that hairline again, corner of the eye. And the chin. And I think I can leave it there. So we got a bit of contrast. It should look quite good when we put the eyes in. So what I'm going to do with the eyes is I'm going to have to do them off camera because I can't get close enough with the camera in the way. But I'm just going to get maybe some off-white or ivory and just do a line across the eye, just really carefully, and then we'll dot it a bit of black. You can see I've got the eyes in there, and that was just a case of supporting it against the table and just using the brush and just doing a small stroke down the way across the socket. And now I'll attempt to put the dot in. Okay, so there's the eyes in as well now. What we'll do now is we'll put the hairline in using just black, and see how much of a difference that makes. Sorry, right, trying to balance the camera. And so now we got the hair in there. You can see that it makes a hell of a difference now, because you can actually see the contrast, because the skin is now framed by a darker colour. You can now see where all the highlights and the shadows are. So stick with it, give it a go, and I'd love to see how you get on. Just let me know. So right, we're going to carry on with the rest of the mini now. We'll start on the highlight of the dress now. While I'm painting Nagini today, I'm also doing Quirrell, and I'm using a similar colour to the snake. So I'm gonna block in that colour using the snake, using the same colours. It's olive green with some khaki in it, and I'm just going to apply an opaque layer, just covering the whole snake. So there's all these parts here, and come back when I'm done. It'll be boring watching it otherwise. Okay, so I'm just going to tidy up the areas of purple that have been messed up with the skin tone on it. So just going over with the Xerius purple again, just to make sure I've got everywhere covered. Before we start applying the highlights. The V of the chest is going to be a darker colour, so doesn't have to go over that area. I can leave a band there, because it's going to be a darker colour. There's no point painting over it just now, so it looks a little bit of the skin tone is still there, but we'll sort that out. Just make sure I've got purple everywhere it should be. Yeah, I think we're okay to continue. So we'll start with the highlights. So we'll get some Genestealer purple and we'll mix it in with the Xerius purple for the first highlight. Okay, so 50-50 mix. Genestealer and Xerius purple. Going to apply it to the top of every fold on the cuffs. The trick is with purple, so once you've got these highlights on, I spend a lot of time putting shadows in, because It's like working with the reds. I'd rather start with a mid-tone and then shade down rather than highlight up. So you highlight up, you'll end up going into white and it gets really chalky. So the trick is to shade a lot darker. So I'll just get these folds done and then we'll put a wash on. And you'll be surprised how quickly it'll come together with the, once you start shading. But this is thin paint, so it's about 50-50 water and paint. And remember, it was only a 50-50 mix, so it's only a slight change in colour. And because of that slight change in colour and only thin paint, as long as it's applied reasonably, you know, not thick layers, just thin layers, you should be okay to get a nice transition. So I think we'll go straight to the Gene Stealer purple on its own. Some water on there. Right, so this is Gene Stealer purple on its own now. Smaller areas. Just picking out the highlights and folds. So we highlighted the whole thigh last time. I'll just do the top 2/3 or so, and I'm pulling the paint up to the hip. Let's get these cuffs again. Sorry, I think the lighting is going all over the place here. So let me refocus because I think it's my glove. Let's get my glove out of the way. Apologies for that. Well, you get the idea. I'm just picking out all the folds. And with the chest, I'm just pulling it up the way. Same this side, so I'll start about there, pull up, and get those ribs as well. So I think I'm ready for a shade now. Okay, apologies, I'm going to do one more highlight because I've added a bit more, a bit of lilac to the previous mix, so it's probably Gene Steeler purple with a bit of lilac in it, to be honest. So, same drill, pick out the absolute top of each fold. So it's along the edges. Just use the side of your brush to pick the edges, just the tops of the folds. I'm not going, well, I could go down there, I suppose. Yeah, just pick out the edges all the way around. And I really want to pick out these cuffs again. Pull that pigment up to the hip again, and up to the shoulder, and the chest. Right, now we're ready for the shade. Okay, so I've got Nagini Nightshade. I've added a drop of water, well, it's a drop of paint, drop of water, drop of flow improver. So it's almost like a wash. And I'm just going to put it in every fold. No matter how small it is, just try and get it in there. I haven't got a lot of paint on my brush, so I don't want to flood the area. So just take your time and go around and pick out everyone. It will be worth it. Going down the arm, between the arm and the torso, on that fold there, and underneath every crease, and under the chest there. And I think we're back at the start now. So I'm just going between the dress and the snake as well. It's got a bit of shadow going in there. Under the chest on this side. And the creases. I'm getting there. Okay, we're starting to get a bit of contrast now, so I'm quite happy with that. So the next thing is to go with a darker shadow now. So that Nagini Night shade that we had earlier, I've added a tiny bit of Payne's Grey ink. It's like a bluey grey, but it can really add a lot more shadow to the purple that we've already got, and I'm applying it sparingly. And just make sure you've got it really thin as well. So it's at least 3 to 4 drops of water to 1 drop of ink, but just make sure it's really thin and test it somewhere before you actually go on the miniature. You can see how dark it is there. When you put it on too thick, if you put it on thin, lightly, it's not too bad. So I'm just applying it to the odd bit of extreme shadow where I don't think any light is getting to. Like the underside of the dress is a good area because, well, number one, we missed it altogether. But, good thing to do is turn the miniature upside down, and you can spot exactly where it needs to go. It will provide a nice little bit of contrast against the snake then when we start playing about with the colours on that. Sorry, I'm going to go under the chest again, but I'm going to do a thin line. And we'll build it up on a couple of passes. I think we can afford another highlight now. Let's pull it down into the small of the back there, because that's going to be the deepest part. It's going to be in shadow there. So I'll go straight to the highlight colour, which was the Gene Stealer and Lilac, wasn't it? So I'll add a little bit more lilac to it. Just about 50-50 Gene Stealer and Lilac, and it's thin. And we'll apply it to top of the chest. I think it's too thin actually. That's not a bad thing. because it's thin, we'll have to do a couple of passes. I'll leave that dry. If you wanted to go lighter again, I'd suggest you either add ivory or like an ice yellow, a really, desaturated light yellow to it. Don't add white because it'll just go chalky and it'll look pants basically. So I think we're almost there, because remember, this band that's next to the skin is going to be darker than the purple that we've already got, so it might look quite nice actually. So we have got a bit of contrast, I'm happy. So another highlight on that thigh and the knee. I think we're there. Get under that rib again. Put that highlight right next to that shadow, makes it stick out, stand out. Sorry, I hate the word pop. Makes it pop. Makes it stand out, I reckon. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to put another shadow in with the ink again, just to darken it a little bit more, and maybe another highlight. Just keep playing until you're happy. I've got the ink again here, and I know I've missed a few bits, so I'm just going to go in and hit them with the ink. I think it was black or German grey I'll use. I think we'll go black and purple, and we'll do a line either side of the V on the neck next. So I'm going to try and get that line in now. I may have to pause it and do it off camera, but we'll have a go. Just using the very point of your brush. So I've got the inside and the outside there. So I'll carry on with this for a wee while, and then we'll come back when we start the snake, I think. But you get the idea, it's just a straight line across. And I'll keep going over these lines as well, just to intensify the shadow colour. Okay, so I decided to speed this part up because we've done this tutorial on a snake before. The only difference here is that the colours for the mid-tone, obviously we use that olive and khaki mix, but the darker one, like Incubi Darkness, and the lighter one, Nurgling Green, are exactly the same. So we'll just speed through this process, and then we'll get back to the main tutorial. Okay, so that's the snake pattern done. Just need to apply the agrax. So remember, I put it on between the lower edge and the dress all the way around first to get a bit of contrast between the cloth and the snake. and then we put another application all over. So we'll come back when that's done. As I say, if you follow the tutorial on Nagini the snake, second part of the Lord Voldemort one, there's a more detailed tutorial, so you can just follow that. So just to finish off now, I need to do another coat of Agrax on the snake, but while that's soaking in and drying, we're going to get a quick dry brush with, what's the colour I've used now? It's Vallejo's heavy blue-grey, and I'm just going to dry brush across so it picks out the details. Just a basic dry brush, because this will help me now to pick out the details and see where I need to push the shadows a wee bit. So now I can see where I'm going with the, it's like I've still got that Payne's grey on my palette, and I've got a little bit of German grey still going, so I've made like a wash consistency. I'm just picking out in between those braids just to separate them to start with. And we'll see how that dries. So what I've been doing is a 50-50 mix of the blue-grey and the German grey to get a highlight colour, and all I've been doing is picking out each little ripple or each little raised area on the head, and then I've gone from where the braids are, I've put a little highlight at the top there, and obviously picked out the strands. So what I'm going to do is get that wash again. Remember the Payne's grey, or you can use like a dark blue black, dark bluey black colour to make a glaze rather than a wash. And I'm just going to apply it to the whole head, and it should keep the areas that we highlighted, although muted down a little bit, and it should blend it all nicely together. And I think this lovely lady is finished. So we'll do a well, that's it. Yeah, I think she's done there. Oh, it's looking good. So we'll take some nice pics and get her based, and we'll do a wrap up. Quite happy. As I say, she's a lovely miniature. Hope you enjoyed it. Right, there we are. Nagini's done. Hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. It's the second time I've painted her now. Well, in fact, if I drop my other one in there, you'll see they're pretty similar. Although I think the skin is much better on the new one, especially the eyes. If I just put in a little bit, maybe you can see. Well, you can see it during the tutorial anyway. But yeah, really good fun doing this one again. So I think that is it for now. Any questions, as always, get in touch in the comments below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Hope you enjoyed it. I know I certainly did, and we'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.